Let's talk fantasy football quarterback rankings for week 14 of the NFL season. We've changed up the format. If you've been watching our rankings videos throughout the season, there was a long stretch where we would go game by game and then we would break it down team by team and show player ranks on screen there. We've changed it up. We're going to go back to individual videos for specific positions. So will be just quarterbacks. So for the new format, you'll catch on really quickly. We'll just start through it. I've got my quarterback rankings for week 14. We're going to start from number 1 and work our way down, and we'll talk about it as we go. We're not going to say that much about Josh Allen. He's playing the Bengals. It's one of the best matchups for quarterbacks, and he's one of the best quarterbacks. Similar situation with Dak Prescott against the Lions. The Lions allow a ton of points to quarterbacks. In that same game, Lions, we've got Jared Goff at 3. The Cowboys allow a ton of fantasy points to quarterbacks. Now that we're talking about the Cowboys, let's talk about these points allowed and where we're getting this from. So we've gone through a couple of players here really quickly. Here, if you're having any issues reading this, let's just walk through it so fast. Here's the player, the team they're on. That part's obvious. Their matchup. Hopefully you can infer that. And then this is a ranking of that matchup. So the Cowboys throughout the year, on average, allow the most points to opposing quarterbacks, fantasy points. So that's why we'll have Jared Goff at 3. This is season-long stats for the Cowboys. They have gotten better since making a few trades, adding Quinnen Williams up front, Logan Wilson on the defense. Their defense is now better. I still really like the matchup. I like Jared Goff against Dak Prescott in a high-scoring game. The over-under for this game is going to end up being pretty high. I like both of these guys quite a bit this week, probably a little bit more than consensus. At 4, we've got Matthew Stafford. I'm not going to take one game against the Rams where he had 3 turnovers and say that's the new norm. I'm going to look at a longer look at Matt Stafford's career, and he doesn't turn the ball over that much. Maybe he did in his Lions days. He's not a massive turnover machine, a true gunslinger like maybe a Brett Favre or a Jay Cutler were. He's still on MVP pace even after last week's game. Here's one where I'm going to go against the matchup. We'll go with Joe Burrow playing the Bills. The Bills are a tough defense for quarterbacks, but a lot of the times I just stick by the mantra. You start your studs. If you have Joe Burrow, we've seen Joe Burrow play the Bills with bad Bengals defenses and good Bills defenses, and they still become shootouts. So in a must-win game for the Bengals, I'm taking Joe Burrow. Here's one where I am trusting the matchup. The Texans are the number 1 defense in the NFL. Here they're 32nd. They allow the fewest amount of points to fantasy quarterbacks. It's still Patrick Mahomes, though. You could take him and dip him maybe down as far as behind Baker Mayfield. I would understand that, but I'm definitely starting Mahomes ahead of someone like Jordan Love for sure. So with these rankings, just like we showed, it's fluid. It is flexible. A lot of this stuff becomes a tier. Like this tier would be Mahomes, Hurts, Jaden Daniels, if he plays, which I don't expect, and Baker Mayfield, who's also been dealing with a bit of an injury. These guys would all become a tier of players, and you could move them around as you see fit, but I would for sure start them ahead of someone like Jordan Love playing the Bears. With Jordan Love, we've seen a track record over the past couple of years of success late in the season. This team is consistently knocking on the playoffs door or in the playoffs, the Packers under Jordan Love, that is, and it often comes on late in the year. The Bears defense do allow quite a bit of points to fantasy quarterbacks. Some of that is because of how many players they've had injured on defense throughout the year. They've been missing players on the defensive line. Right now, they're missing a lot of their linebackers. There was a while where they were missing all of their best corners. Their corners have been coming back, so I expect that this 9 in the next couple of weeks will become 10, 11, 12 as they start stymieing different quarterbacks. But I still like the matchup. And historically, Green Bay has been able to move the ball pretty much at will against the Bears. At 10 or at 11, I've got Lamar. Got him way down here. It's been a long stretch, 3-4 weeks of him just underperforming, not really running. Whatever injury he has is still affecting him. I don't think he's done as a player, and it would really only take about 1 game of seeing him perform for me to move him back up into the top 3. But I'm not just going to keep doing it to myself. He's given us 6 points, 5 points, 6 fantasy points. I'll be looking for other options if I have Lamar. Like if you could grab Jordan Love off of waivers, sure. Caleb Williams taking on the Packers. This is one of the tougher defenses. The Bears are winning. Some people call the Bears fraudulent. I might agree a little bit. The offense is mostly the run game. The Packers have an excellent run defense. They also have a pretty solid pass defense. If a team can stop the Bears offense, I think it's the Packers defense. I could maybe see the Texans stopping them or the Los Angeles Rams. Like, I thought the Eagles were a really good unit and the Bears had multiple 100-yard rushers. I don't know that we see that repeat against the Packers, and that's going to hurt the offense as a whole. I still like Caleb Williams. I like his ability to scramble. I like how he can get out of sacks and make a play out of nothing. We're looking for this passing offense to take the next step forward and catch up with their rushing attack. I don't know that it for sure starts again this week against the Packers. Let's go with quarterback 13, Jacoby Brissett. Since he's been playing, it's just been working. Now, I'll add in here, I don't think he's a good NFL quarterback. Like, I don't think he's a great player. This team is losing all of these games that he's been starting. Some of them he's dragged them back in. When they played the Jags, he did get that game to overtime, but they were down quite a bit before Jacoby brought them back. And a lot of why they're down is often Jacoby's fault. I don't love it as a player, but it is working for fantasy. I've got him at 13. Let's talk Justin Herbert, player who broke his hand on Sunday. If he's playing this Sunday, I am going to be worried about it. Not having access to both your hands does change what's available for an offense. If you were watching the Steelers game on Sunday, you would hear the commentators talking about how Aaron Rodgers, who had a broken wrist, couldn't hand the ball off different directions, was taking the ball out of the pistol. Like, it changes what your offense can do. So I would be looking to stay away from Justin Herbert until I saw something work. I know a lot of people that have Justin Herbert have a different option. I'm probably using that other option. At 15, I've got Bo Nix taking on the Raiders. Should be an easy matchup. Should be okay. All things go for Bo Nix. Last time he played the Raiders, it was a problem. I could move him up kind of about into this range ahead of Lamar. This grouping here does become kind of another tier, another blob. Same thing with Daniel Jones. He's playing on a broken leg. It's an easy matchup, though, against the Jaguars. Like, the Jaguars allow quite a bit of points to opposing quarterbacks. Daniel Jones has been pretty good this year. It's been a great story of this player cast off by his team. That team has now fired their coach. It looks like a dumpster fire. The Colts are doing great. For fantasy football, Daniel Jones has not remained elite throughout the year. It has come back down to earth a little bit. He's still good. He's still someone you can start. Like, I could see him up here right around Jordan Love. And that, if someone started him over Jordan Love, I wouldn't think they were crazy. I just have it ranked this way. I mean, this blob of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 could all be up here at 10 or 11. Similar situation with Sam Darnold. Great quarterback, or a good quarterback. The matchup here is what's putting him down at 17 compared to 12-ish. The Falcons have been a pretty good defense throughout the year. Their offense is struggling quite a bit, which will make their defense a little bit worse. If you can't move the ball and you can't maintain time of possession, your defense can't really rest. That sort of mindset for the Falcons defense, but I still think they can limit Sam Darnold a little bit. We're not really seeing that many 4-touchdown, 3-touchdown, 300-yard games from Darnold. He's good for his NFL team, not an amazing fantasy option. And then we've got a couple other pocket passers here that don't really run in Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor only makes it into the ranked tier because of the matchup against the Dolphins. They're not a horrible defense. They're not an amazing defense. Teams can move the ball on Miami's defense. Stroud is someone I'm generally just not really, I never really bought in on him as a top 5 fantasy quarterback. And I think over the course of a couple of years, going into last season, he was ranked top 3, top 4, top 5 going into the season. It was a disappointing season compared to that ranking, and he's never really rebounded or shown that signs that he should be ranked that high again. So in most 12-team leagues, I'm saying we don't really need to roster CJ Stroud. If your quarterback is out on bye, maybe you've been starting Purdy or Jackson Dart, CJ Stroud is a decent fill-in option, although it's a tough matchup. I might end up taking Tyrod Taylor ahead of CJ Stroud if I'm on a desperation bye week play. Then we get into the please no tier. These are ranked roughly, but in other videos, do not expect the please no tier to be specifically ranked. I would take JJ McCarthy a little bit ahead of Tyler Shuck, and then Shadur behind those guys, Cam Ward and Geno Smith at the bottom. And then if Marcus Mariota plays, I would put him into the Jacoby Brissett range. Justin Herbert, like it's a healthy quarterback in a decent matchup. I would put him around 11, 12, 13. All right, guys. Thank you very much for checking this out. We will also have rankings for running backs, wide receivers, tight ends in separate videos. If you are interested in Dynasty content, we're starting a Dynasty rebuild series. That will be the one that gets linked on your screen. We started a lot of Dynasty startups last offseason. If you're watching this and you're on the verge of being eliminated, now's the time to start thinking, maybe I play some Dynasty fantasy football. I will tell you, the league that I had the most fun with this year was a Dynasty league where I'm not trying to win. I want to come in last and get the best pick. And it's a lot of fun making moves. Like Daniel Jones was part of that team for me, a player who I got for free, who rose up in value throughout the season, and I was able to take him and trade him for value that will exist in the future. Dynasty adds a different level of trading, and I really recommend it. So we're starting a series on a Dynasty rebuild. We will be covering more Dynasty content this offseason, including Dynasty startups with people like you. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments and check out that video for rebuild. Alrighty, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks if you made it to the end.